Welcome back, barbarians, to another video. In today's video, I want to take a closer look at what I believe to be one of the best combos in Destiny's history, really. One of the most fun, one of the most recognized, one of the most reliable. But before we really dive into it, guys, just please make sure to drop a like on the video. That greatly helps me out as I try to produce some more content for you guys. I do know my upload schedule has been a little bit crazy as of lately, so I do apologize for that, but I do hope to upload on a more regular basis. So let's go ahead and start out with the subclass. I'm running Night Stalker. Jokes. Arc Strider, as you can see, I get a bunch of kills with Arc Strider there. It felt really good. Almost fell off the map. But the weapon we're talking about today is Mida Multi-Tool. Now, this gun, and I'll get to the energy slot here in a second, is so good. It's a scout rifle that it's definitely had its time to shine. It is a beautiful weapon. It's been in Destiny 1, now they brought it back into Destiny 2, and as you can see from that last kill, there's a weapon called the Mida Mini Tool that goes with it, and it has some additional perks that go alongside it. So it's a primary and secondary weapon. You can pair it together for mostly the Crucible. I actually don't believe I've ever seen anyone either in my fire team or not using this in PvE, but you could be the first, so keep that in mind. Now in Destiny 1, I don't really recall because it's been so long the perks exactly. I believe it did have Outlaw. It does have Enhanced Radar or Third Eye, so when you aim down the scope with this scout rifle, you can still see your radar on the map, which is obviously really good for PvP. Just so you can have that sense of reliability. You don't really have to unzoom just to constantly check if somebody's popping up on your radar, which is really handy. So that perk alone is good. And the Catalyst actually used to give it Outlaw in early Destiny 2 days, which if you haven't used Mida Multi-Tool by itself, it is one of the faster reloading scout rifles in the game. And it has 16 bullets in the magazine, which is plenty for PvP. It is the all-time consistent 4-tap machine to the head, and it feels really good. So, as you can see there, 54 damage per headshot. It just does work. So, they got rid of Outlaw, I believe a couple seasons ago. I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me on that. And what they actually ended up replacing it with was something that I thought was perfect. It kind of added to the whole utility of the build. It just served it really well. And that is the perk No Distractions. So when you aim down sights with this scout rifle for short durations, as you can see there, it briefly came up, you get a perk called No Distractions, which essentially decreases the amount of flinch that you get while you're being shot at, which helps you hit your shots in return, making it even more consistent. So with having the radar perked and having the No Distractions activated, as I do here, and once you have it activated, if you stay zoomed in, it stays on, which is really nice because obviously my radar is staying on. So you could stay in the same spot for quite a while if you wanted to, and just really hold down some solid territory control. Now, we'll go back to talking about Mida in a little bit, but let's talk about Mida Mini Tool. So this is an SMG in the energy slot. It is a 900 rounds per minute SMG. It has 37 bullets in the mag, and it has for perks hip fire grip. So it has, which is increased accuracy when firing from the hip, which believe it or not is actually pretty useful. And then it has kill clip. So after getting a kill and reloading, you do increased damage. And obviously kill clips very strong in PvP. Now, if you're thinking of SMGs you might currently use, the only two that come to mind, three, are Escape Velocity from Dead Orbit. That's a kinetic 900 rounds per minute. And the Multi-Mac, which is the Iron Banner SMG, also 900 rounds per minute, also kinetic. The only one I can think of off the top of my head in the energy slot is the Stochastic Variable, if I pronounce that correctly, the Future War Cult SMG. But the perk really, and the icing on the cake when using Mida Multi-Tool plus Mida Mini Tool, is that they benefit from each other. So if you're using both, you have increased equip speed for the weapon, so like increased handling, increased aim down sight speed. You move faster when you have either weapon out. In my opinion, that perk is noticeable. It won't say it on your screen. I just got absolutely wrecked right there. But you do feel the added benefit. So for instance, if you took off mini tool, excuse me, and switched it out for another energy slot weapon, you would feel like you're moving slower. So if you really want to pick up the pace of Crucible, putting on multi-tool plus the mini tool, no matter who you're fighting, what gun you have out, you truly feel like you are kind of owning the map. You're going wherever you want to go, however fast you want to go, and noticeably faster than your fellow comrades here in the Crucible, which is really, really nice. Now, the main reason I say this is the classic combo in Destiny is just because Mida has been around for so long. And if you've played PvP even a little bit, you've heard of it. But if you haven't, I highly suggest you check it out. Now, as far as the catalyst, I think it's a world drop now, but it used to be you didn't get it, and you had to get glory rank 5500, so max, and then the next game after 5500 that you won, it dropped a multi-tool catalyst, and then I believe you had to get 350 or 500 kills somewhere in there in the Crucible in order to unlock it, just for Outlaw. Like, why? No one really knew. But now I do think they've changed that. Actually, I know they've changed that, so that's not the case of how you get the weapon. And one thing right here you might notice is the scope. Now, this is my favorite, not shader, but ornament for the weapon, the desert camo. However, it's not my favorite scope. So the scope does change per the ornament. I actually like the OG, just no ornament whatsoever, and it has kind of a roof, I don't know how to describe it, like a top to it, and it just looks really clean. It feels really clean when you hit your headshots. It feels great. So to pair Mida multi-tool, something that's been in the game for so long, it's so well respected and well known by the Crucible or the Destiny community, and then to give it Mida mini tool, you're just gonna have a blast. I highly recommend you check it out. I think it's been kind of forgotten about just because a lot of weapons have come out, which is fair. Certainly there's more meta weapons. I wouldn't consider Mida multi-tools archetyped in the meta at all right now. It's certainly a contender, something like B tier maybe, but you compare it to something like Randy's throwing knife or contingency plan, something 260 round per minute scout rifles that absolutely melts your opponent, can just absolutely wreak havoc. As far as the mini tool though, in 900 rounds per minute go, I would say this is a really good one, really strong. You can get a stochastic variable with Feeding Frenzy and multi-kill clip, or yeah, I think that's the role I have, which of course very strong as well. So there are some things comparable in the energy slot, which is nice, but again, that added exotic perk of having that increased movement speed when you have either weapon out truly makes it shine. In my personal opinion, I think Mida feels the best on the Hunter and the Warlock class. Specifically probably the Warlock class, and I can't really put my finger on why. It's just kind of a feel. It works really, really well. But yeah, I don't think I have too much more to say on this combo. I'll let the gameplay here kind of finish itself out, but highly recommend you guys trying this if you haven't already, and if you have in the past, please get it from your vault. It might only be power level 1100, and that's the other thing. They made it so my mini tool is not sunset because it's specifically paired with this exotic scout. So that's kind of a nice additional perk too. But if you haven't used it in a while, you might notice that they're 1100 power. So they might be a little low. Can't exactly equip them and hop into Iron Banner unless you want to get wrecked, but or trials. But just level them up and you'll be good to go. So thank you, Barbarian, so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy it and found it informative, please drop a like on the video again. Greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.